Steve Levy, where are you, Steve? Steve Levy, this is a gentleman from the Morris County area that I only knew of, and then I had the pleasure of meeting again and again and again. And as I said earlier, there is nobody I can imagine more suited for this chairmanship than Steve Levy. This guy brings it all, and he brings it on. I couldn't be more pleased to know that he's the one who's working with Kim, and they're the ones who are driving us. So without further ado, Steve,
So I think I'm just going to spend my 3 minutes thanking Barbara for being my chief fan club member. But what I was asked to do is just to talk about JCF, and you know, David really talked about the essence of what we're here for, which is to try and get more perpetual annual campaign endowment gifts. But you know, let's put it in perspective. So you know, to put it simply, the JCF is the planned giving arm of the Federation. So we are here to support the Federation for our community's interests, both in New Jersey and the United States and around the world. The foundation houses almost $500 million of assets. About 50 million is for those 100 gifts that David talked about that have already matured, that are now producing 2 million. Our number one goal for the entire centennial is to get that $2 million a year contribution to the annual campaign up to 4 and maybe even 6 million. And the New Century Fund is going to expand the number of donors for perpetual annual campaign gifts. And I think that is one of the most exciting aspects of this. I think stepping back just a touch and say, what did this foundation do in the last 5 months is also important because it gives you some idea of why these endowment dollars are so important. These endowment dollars have enabled us to assist in a lot of the emergency relief. We were able, through the foundation, to identify some opportunities, and whether they were from the funds that we actually have some flexibility over, or it's our donor advised funds, we were able to direct them to the needs of our community. That is what we would do in the future. That is what the foundation is all about. I have only known the foundation in the time that it's worked very closely with the Federation. And this project of celebrating our centennial is probably the best opportunity for us to work together. I've already seen it for the last year as the planning has gone forward. And you know, tying together this list of donors who have been giving for so long and giving them the opportunity to continue that gift in perpetuity beyond their lifetimes is what I think is the ultimate example of Federation and Foundation working together. So while there's a lot of different objectives in the centennial, getting perpetual annual campaign endowment gifts is clearly the #1 goal. And the most exciting thing is our new initiative led by my big fan club over there in Barbara's house. She tells me there's like 4 or 5 other fan club members there. I'm not sure who they are, but is the New Century Fund. And it's just, you know, I think it's a brilliant idea to say, okay, maybe it's not 100,000, you know, that doesn't mean you can't continue your gift beyond your lifetime. And that's essentially what we're asking. And I thank you in advance for the work you are doing, for the work you are going to do, because this is the future. Did I make